Okay, so now moving on to the second box. I'm actually going to start out with this one. So I should have said in the beginning that I'm not going to be including any books that I've hauled, and I'm also not going to be including any books that I've already did like dedicated reviews on, because I feel like that's pretty redundant anyway. So this book right here is one I got at Dollar Tree. It says, "See You Again in Pyongyang, A Journey into Kim Jong-un's North Korea" by Travis Jeppesen. So the price of this book obviously is what sold me. I'm pretty sure it was $1. I mean, it is the Dollar Tree. It was probably $1. Now, I just find learning about cultures in general to be super fascinating. I love to learn how other people live. There's just so many things about other countries that I just find so fascinating, and I find differences among people in general to be so interesting and worthwhile to learn about. I feel like this might just be a propaganda piece. I haven't read it yet, but I probably will do a review on this. We'll see. I know I'm gonna do a review on it, whether it's in a wrap-up or has its own dedicated video. We shall see what I decide on, but I definitely do want to read this book. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but if you guys tell me in the comments that you're interested in it, then I probably will get to it sooner rather than later. You never know what you're gonna find in Dollar Tree. I didn't even know they sold books in Dollar Tree. We'll see how this book is. Hopefully I get something out of it and it's not just a propaganda piece, but if it is, I'll be sure to let you guys know eventually. Okay, so now I have some other things in here that are like sentimental, which maybe one day I'll share, but definitely not today. I don't really feel like I want to be too sentimental today. I actually got this for free. I think it was handed out to the students for free when I went to, it was basically like a summer seminar for students. If they were interested, they could come. If they didn't want to come, they didn't have to. And I think this was given for free. So this is Walt Whitman, The Complete Poems. I'm not, okay, so if I'm remembering correctly, I think he is American. I am not really into American poetry, except for maybe like Edgar Allan Poe. I'm sorry. My camera is severely fucking with me right now, and I'm not appreciating this shit. Like, I'm really not appreciating it. Anyways, my camera gives me like a 3-second warning of that it needs to cool down, and it will show you know, in the viewfinder that it says needs to cool down, and then it will be like a black screen saying needs to cool down, and so that gives me like a warning of how much time I have left before my camera's just gonna completely cut off, right? Okay, so I let it cool down for what I feel like was a good amount of time, and in that time I got some different wine. I got some rosé. It's Grenache. I'm not sure if that's how you actually pronounce it. You can correct me in the comments, but you know, I'm not a fan of rosé. I kind of fucking hate rosé, and the reason why is because it gives me headaches. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe this will be a good one, and maybe I was only buying like a really cheap rosé, and maybe that's why it was having that kind of effect on me. I don't really know. We shall see how this will treat me today. So sorry, I was supposed to say cheers. Cheers. I did that just to take another sip. Don't tell anyone. Anyways, okay. So before I got interrupted, I was saying that American poetry normally does not do it. I feel like my camera has a plot against me or something. Like, it does not let me finish my thought. And okay. So, like I was saying, American poetry doesn't really do anything for me. And I only have like one poet in mind that I feel like kind of, it doesn't really like resonate exactly, but I have an appreciation for, which is, or should I say who is Edgar Allan Poe. He just has a uniqueness to his subject matter, to how he expresses himself. It's very, I don't know, it's like, I feel like maybe he like paved the road for people like, god damn, what's his name? Tim Burton, holy shit. Yeah, like he just has that vibe. He just has that vibe. He laid down the framework for like goth and like emo, and not that I can even speak on knowing about those subcultures, but yeah, like he's like the only poet, American poet, that I feel like people can get down with, or like I can get down with. Anyways, that's the point I wanted to make about American poets. I just feel like I'm more familiar with English poets as opposed to American poets, and I'm not even that familiar with poets in general. Okay, well, speaking of poetry, poets, playwrights, I have here the complete works of William Shakespeare. I don't know what the fuck that was, but maybe I should try to like speak in an English accent for this. I don't know. Well, let's see. I mean, there's so many different kinds of English accents, and maybe I will try to go for one that you would see like in the Harry Potter series or something like that, which is probably like the very posh of English accents. I don't know, you could let me know in the comments how well I'm doing, but I definitely had practice from watching the Harry Potter series. And yeah, I very much like William Shakespeare. I think everyone probably should have some kind of appreciation for the man. Although I will admit, I haven't read many of his works, but that's why we buy books, right? To get more familiar and acquainted with the greats such as this man. And yeah, this is literally the complete works of William Shakespeare. It has his plays, but also his poems. And how could you not invest in this kind of book? I mean, this was, I think, from Barnes & Noble, and it was reasonably priced, so I had to have it. I appreciate literature, I appreciate English literature, and this is just one of the greats. I love this, and I hope to one day proudly be able to display it in a nice bookshelf or case or something. So, love this. Had to have it. You should probably have it too. Not judging, but like seriously, get on that. So speaking of influential cultural works, I also have Arabian Nights. This is such, I just feel like this, again, when I talked about earlier about appreciating cultures, I feel like the best way to learn about cultures in a lot of ways is through literature, especially if you can't actually visit a certain country of interest. You can still read the texts that the peoples that populated those places made. So that's why I have an appreciation for works like these, because they give me a certain insight to the people. And I'm just interested in different cultures and different people. I really am. So this is also a Barnes & Noble edition. And so it too is pretty reasonably priced. This one at the time was $9.95, so $10, which, I mean, for a volume like this, That's pretty reasonable, in my opinion. So next book here is Till I End My Song, a gathering of last poems edited by Harold Bloom. Now, I would probably like turn off my camera just so that you guys didn't have to hear that lawnmower, but like with my luck, I won't be able to turn back my camera on because it's very temperamental. So hopefully you guys will forgive me for the background noise, and hopefully you'll be able to hear me more than the lawnmower. So Till I End My Song, this is a very special book for me. I feel like it was just meant to be in my possession. This not only is the cover a work of art, in my opinion, this appeals to me in so many different ways. It has these, I don't know if they're called, what are these called? Kind of like, they're pages that are not so even. They're not evenly cut. It's just, there's so many things about this book that I really like. I really like that attention to detail. And okay, so the story with this, because I actually have like okay, let me just start. So this book I actually found at my local library, and I checked it out, and I wasn't able to finish it. But it was a book that remained in the back of my mind because I just really enjoyed the poems inside. And obviously there's a theme to the gathering of these poems, which I'll talk about just in a second. But so I checked it out originally at the library, and then a couple of, I don't know if it was a couple of weeks or maybe even a month, who knows, a short time after I had checked it out, I went to Barnes & Noble with one of my friends. This was during the time that Barnes & Noble was officially closing. It was officially becoming defunct. And so they were having huge sales at their stores. And so I went with my friend, my two friends, and we were checking out and looking at the books that they had for sale. Everything was on sale, obviously. And this happened to be one of the books that I came across. And I knew right then and there that I was destined to have this book in my possession. And you can see here, oh my God, did I say Barnes & Noble or Borders? Holy shit. Change that to Borders, okay. Borders, when Borders was going out of business. You can see here, hopefully you can see here, the Borders tag on there. And yeah, like I felt like it was destiny that brought us together. And the poems in here are essentially all to do with like death. They're either like eulogies, or they're like directly about death. You know, so I love the collection of works in here, and I'm not sure if there's any real interpretation from the part of Harold Bloom. I'm not sure. Oh yes, okay, so he does talk about, he does give a little bit of information, a little bit of background on the poems before he actually, you know, puts the poem there. But I do have just one, like, I don't, this is, I'm not going to show you guys what this actually is, but yeah, I do have one work marked, and it is this one by John Brooks Wheelwright. I think he's actually British. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But this poem's called Fish Food, an Obituary to Hart Crane. And I just love that poem. I felt like it was such, just look it up and you'll see, like it felt so, I don't know, like when I read it, it felt like I was reading a song. It just felt like a song. It felt so, it just sounded so good. So yeah, there's so many amazing poems in here, and maybe I'll talk about this book more in the future. This book is just amazing. Okay, so okay, so back to my wannabe med lab tech days. I got this book. It's General Chemistry by Linus Pauling. I'm not sure how you say his first name. But yeah, this is when I wanted to be a medical lab technician, and I felt like reading something like this that was meant to be kind of like literally general for the general person interested in chemistry. Did I get through this whole book? Hell no, I did not. Would I one day want to go through this book again? My camera's about to shut off. Oh my goodness. Okay. So moving on to the final two books, and then I have some magazines here that I forgot that I had. But anyways, so I'll just start with this one first. So this one is If Ignorance Is Bliss, Why Aren't There More Happy People? And this is just a book of quotes, actually. Again, this was before like the heyday of the internet. You know, like how now on Instagram everybody has inspirational quotes and stuff. This was basically like the book version equivalent of that. And so it's got just quotes. It's got quotes by a whole bunch of different people, some of which I've actually cut out and put into other things for memorabilia purposes, and just like quotes that I really liked, essentially. One of them was by Louis Armstrong, I believe, and he said,
"All music is folk music."
I ain't never heard a horse sing a song or something like that. And I just thought that was funny, and so funny, but like just so kind of like true, you know, like simply because like I'm a fan of like folk music, or like new folk, or whatever, like what's considered folk in the modern age, I'm a huge fan of. So I really liked that quote, and that was one of the quotes in here. There's so many other quotes in here that I really enjoyed, and just to tie like a story time into this book, oh my goodness, I kind of like feel guilty admitting this, but one of my friends, this was a book that was in Borders. Again, Borders is now defunct. If you're someone who's like, I don't know, young, like in their teens now, you definitely don't know what Borders is, but Borders used to be a bookstore just like Barnes and Noble. And they were, I guess, notorious for not having very good security. There weren't that many cameras in the store. And my friend actually stole this book from me. And I was like, you know what, I didn't want him to. But I guess he felt like, oh, you know, like I can't get this for you, but I can just take it for you, I guess. I don't know. I still feel like weird about it because I don't condone that, okay? But I'm just saying, you definitely don't need to steal a book, okay? There's libraries, and there's a whole bunch of other resources like apps, you know, like ebooks and all that stuff. So no need to steal a book, okay? I will say that. I'm maybe a little lenient on textbooks, but that's not necessarily stealing. If you are able to do some magic and get the PDF file or whatever. But yeah, a little story time about this book. Okay, so last book. So this last book I have here is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I think it's called Philosopher's Stone over there in the UK. This was a gift from a particular book company that I used to work for, and I loved it. I'm a huge fan of Harry Potter. I grew up on these books. These books are super important to me. They have so many great themes and so many great characters, complex characters, and they really, and the characters do a great job at informing people's ideas on what makes a good person good and what makes a bad person bad. You know what I mean? It's kind of like hard to say in such short words, but There's so many great themes in the Harry Potter series, and there's so many great messages in general in the books. So I really enjoyed getting this as a gift from that company I used to work for. And what's funny about how I got into Harry Potter, I didn't even read the first book. I actually got into Harry Potter reading, I think, the second one. And so to get this, to be able to read the first in the series, the first book in the series, was really cool to get that as a gift. And I didn't read it, but maybe one day I'll reread the series and have a whole new appreciation for it again. But I already am super appreciative of these works, and they were really influential on me when I was growing up. So really cool to have this book in my collection still. Okay, I hope you can't see that. Anyways, so honorable mentions, we'll just do honorable mentions because these are magazines that I have here that I didn't even know I had these magazines. So one is from, and these I actually paid like full price. Like, I'm pretty sure I got these at like a supermarket that I was shopping at, and I saw them and I was like, oh my god, that seems so interesting. So I got it. So this one's from Popular Science, the new artificial intelligence. And so this is from, I don't even know when this is from, like what the hell. These are more than 4 years old. Let's just say that. So I have that one. And then I have this one from the BBC. Oh my god. The Amazing Brain, the newest discoveries about memory, consciousness, and free will. Oh my god. I forgot I had these. Oh my god, I forgot I had these. Ooh, TV Guides, Marilyn exclusive, never before seen photos of Marilyn Monroe. Okay, so this makes me happy and sad at the same time because I know I had another magazine that was about Marilyn. How can you not be fascinated by this gorgeous woman? Okay, like, she is the epitome of beauty. She is the epitome of like gorgeousness. She is just like what every woman wants to be. And how could you not want to be like Marilyn Monroe? I mean, at least in terms of her physicality, like, she's just gorgeous. So, and then, oh yeah, okay, and then I have Time, greatest scientists, the geniuses, eccentrics, and visionaries who transformed the world. I really feel like this magazine in particular made me so grateful for the people who came before us, the geniuses who came before us. So important to appreciate the scientists, mathematicians, medical professionals, just chemists, all the people, engineers, all these people made life extremely comfortable for us today. And these are the people that we should be holding up to high esteem. These are the people who we should be thanking just for everything, really. And yeah, I mean, I just have such an appreciation for learning about these kinds of figures. So that was just honorable mention. I love that I still have these. I can't believe I forgot that I had these magazines. These are so amazing. So anyways, so that's my, I guess, book/magazine collection, and I would love to know what you guys thought about that. I know I don't have that many books, but it is very, I don't know, I think everyone's book collection is very personal, and considering the size of mine, I feel like it's extremely personal. And I remember each book that I ever bought and why I felt compelled to buy it, and the story behind why I have it. And so I feel like the books that I do have in my collection are very special and personal to me. So hopefully you guys, I don't know, hopefully you guys were entertained at the very least. And whatever thoughts you have, I would love to know what they are down in the comments section. So make sure to leave your comments down below. And if you like this video, give it a like. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye, guys.